you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hearer of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
I am Minister Idris Taha, the host, and with me have Brother Fakil Abdul Aziz. And with us on the set this evening is Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, the messenger prophet of Ahezaah Allah, and Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Saleem. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within everybody's presence.
About your presence. As well.
We want to thank you for tuning into this program, and I hope you sit back and enjoy. We've said many things for the last couple of months on our program, talking about the signs of the time, the hour of the day. But most importantly, the greatest sign, one of the greatest signs that the Lord has sent down for us this day is a sign as the messenger prophet, which is the voice of the Lord for this day. With that being said, we're going to sit back, get into this conversation, introduce you, or reintroduce you again, I should say, to the messenger prophet for the day, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen. My Ahezaah's peace and again be about your presence.
Peace and blessings be about your presence as well.
One of the things that people misunderstand in religion, in this way of life, is that they've all have set up this thing that Muhammad was the final. And if that was so true, and they said the Quran is the final book, testament sent to mankind, then who is here to warn people in the day, in the hour, and such chaos that has taken place now since the time of the tsunami, the travesty of Hurricane Katrina, the World Trade Center being taken down? Who's here to make the call to the society of this world with the voice? You know?
Well, if I may, before we interject with you, Lord, such manifest signs, such open and things like the unusual weather patterns and stuff like that, they can be easily ignored when people grasp like a doctrine like something like Muhammad or Jesus or any messenger prophet of the past times being the final and the last thing that's sent, the last person that's sent to a mankind and to the world. So the world doesn't have to take heed, so they end up listening to others who don't have the same authority as those true messengers had, and thus the people end up getting fooled. So they're not ready and they're not prepared when a real word comes to them, you know. And that's what we're hoping that we're certainly, our mission is that the A.H.A.D moment and the other matters concerning this mission of yours, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen and Holy Queen Mother Rabbi, is about. You know, hopefully the people will take hold to it.
You know, there's a problem with people in religion.
Okay.
One of the things that transpires is that people forget, you know, human beings forget. Yes. So we must be reminded all the time, you know. We need the Lord to remind us. We need messengers to remind us. We need the books. That's why the Lord leave us books, writings, so, you know, hard copies, so to speak, so that we can always pick it up and be reminded, you know. The Lord says the devil will never stop working, never stop. And the devil himself said it will come to us from before us, behind us, and on every side.
Oh yeah.
It will. Its only course of action is to take us down as human beings. The devil is an angel, a fallen angel, and it's hateful of human beings. Now, if that's true, then the problem is that people, after the messengers come, like for instance, when I leave, maybe 100 years from now, you know, or less, the devil is working on people continuously.
Right.
And get them to think that, okay, you got this messenger, that's it. There's no more for you. And that's what they do with every prophet.
Okay.
And then the devil and the demon beast that's within man cause men or people to think that they are the favorite forever of Allah's, of Ahezaah Allah, you know?
Sure.
So the devil is actually victorious over the general population. You know, the devil rides inside the churches, masjids, the temples, synagogues, sit up high on their thrones. The devil. and works through their ministers and priests and and deacons and you name it, people of authority in these religious houses of worship. You got people today in the Far East that worship rats, worship cows, worship other animals and material things, idols today.
Yeah.
And this is not an ancient time. It's happening right now, and then you have people that are so blind and fearful of the people that stands before them that calls themselves the authority over them. They accept what they see as contradictions of the holy books. Right. But because their leaders say, this is what we're going to do, this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to believe, they take that and it be clear contradictions against the Holy Scripture.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it be the Bible or the Quran or the Vedas or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lord has made it so simple and so clear for us, so easy. It's a blessing and it's a mercy for those who will bear patience and trust and faith, give themselves up to the faith of the Lord Most High. That it don't change things. It has brought down the same laws and orders. I mean, the same laws for the people without changing, although the orders have changed.
Okay.
It's only the orders that change in time. Like, for instance, the Muslims were told to turn away from Jerusalem.
Right.
Because that was no longer to be recognized as their holy Kaaba or their holy center.
Right.
Right? And to turn towards Mecca. Now, today, Ahezaah is giving me his new name.
Right.
And it says for us to turn, for the people to turn away from Mecca. Because it has taken its grace of mercy, its blessings away from them. And that's very difficult for the billions of Muslims to believe. Even some Christians might sit back and say, hey, he's saying some heavy, powerful stuff. That can't be. But see, you got people who still think Vatican City is a holy place.
Yeah, that's true.
Because people refuse to change and they refuse to stand forth and follow the strict course that the Lord gives.
It's something that you touched upon. One of the first things that the Lord Most High brought to us as being a part of the community of A.H.A.D, being I had believers today, is that it mentioned you as a Lord.
Yes.
Now, people have a tendency to, you mentioned Lord, they automatically say Jesus. Automatically, they'll, when you say the Lord, they go to Jesus first because they say he's the Lord.
Right.
But explain to the people who are not familiar with what the term Lord come from, and maybe they'll get a better understanding.
The Lord Most High is the master, is the owner, is the overseer, is the control. That's what the Lord is.
Okay.
One who owns. Okay. Now, men such as myself and Jesus and Muhammad, see, no one ever calls Muhammad Lord Muhammad, but Muhammad's a Lord.
Right.
He was a Lord equal to Jesus being a Lord, equal to John being a Lord, equal to Abraham being a Lord. What makes men lords is that they are a sign of the Lord that's within them and all about their presence. See, you have certain ones of us who are the holy law-bearing messenger prophets of the Lord that are the lambs of Allah.
Okay.
And what makes a lamb of Allah is the Lord itself and his holy supreme archangel, his Holy Spirit archangel, being unified with the man.
Right.
Guiding the man, being the strength of the man, empowering the man, and protecting the man, and carrying the man about doing his work, such as myself. If I wasn't protected by the Lord Most High, then you would see me walk around with bodyguards. You'd see me with thick bulletproof glass shields in front of me. You'd see me, walking somewhat concerned in the streets,
Right.
But my Lord has demanded that I do not manifest those things.
Okay.
If you recall, there was once upon a time we tried you with watching over me, and we proved that you can't watch over me. Too faulty.
Right.
You can't watch over me. Too forgetful. Too unmindful. The Lord watches over me. The Lord watches over all those such as Holy Queen Mother, who have become enlightened.
Right.
You understand? Who have become unified with it. Now, it told me, it changed my name for the 3rd time to Holy-Apostle Deen.
Okay.
And when I questioned it about it, it said to me, I'm going to make it so that you be a sign for the people and for those who are the enemies of man, that you're not going to try at all to run or hide. I'm going to put this title on you as a name. So no matter where you go, your papers, all these legal papers and what have you, bear your name, who you are. You're not going to hide at all.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you're my messenger this day. There's nowhere for you to hide. There's a new day coming in, and there's things that must be done. So I bear that name,
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as me being the Lord, I'm really the sign of the Lord.
Right.
And the Lord itself, one of its attributes is the Lord of Lords.
Right.
The real true lords are not the landlords of property.
That's
not the lords in London, Britain.
Right. Because
these people steal the titles. They steal from the Lord Most High. And everything that the Lord Most High send down with his messengers, his prophets, his real holy prophets, holy messengers, you have imitate those things.
Yes.
Now, the messengers, the prophets, they are examples. Like Jesus was an example for us.
Right.
If you understand that Jesus was an example, Muhammad was an example, all the prophets were examples, then you would not worship them.
Right.
You would look at them as an example, and you would not raise them so high that you can't reach them.
Yes.
You need to understand why they did what they did. Like for instance, you have people that might say, well, Muhammad said this or Muhammad did that and this, that, and the other. And it's all out of context of what he did. And it makes it seem like Muhammad was foolish for doing a thing which they trying to emulate.
Right.
You have to, if you're not sensible enough,
Right.
if you're a hater of Islam, you'll say, yeah, look at them foolish Muslims. But if you're a lover of Islam, you have to ask, why is it that Muhammad did that? If you're a seeker, a true seeker, you say, why did Muhammad do that? You try to make some sense of it.
Right.
And by that, asking the Lord, understanding that the Lord Most High is real, understanding that the Lord will not shut up like the Muslims try to make him shut up, and I hate to say that, but it's true, because when they say Muhammad is the last and there's no one else to come, there's no books to come, when it clearly said in the Holy Quran that Muhammad, he believed in that what was yet to come.
That's right.
You understand? And when he talked about the judgment day and the mountains being taken down and what have things of that nature, it was reflective of what was written in the book of Revelation, which he believed in, and he knew that there had to be a prophet to come to open up the book of Revelation. You understand? So Muhammad himself knew that he wasn't the last, and for yourself, out of the 25 years or whatever a period of time Muhammad lived during his lifetime, if he was the last, don't you know Ahezaah would have said it numerous times that he was the last, the final, that was it. It don't make sense for people to think that the eternal is not eternal.
Yes.
If the eternal is eternal, why would it stop talking to its creatures? Why would it stop communicating with its creatures? Why would it be limited? It don't make sense.
And it's funny because many times human beings take the infinite and make it finite.
Yes, they do all the time because of the compromise, because of the devil, because they don't want to step up to the hardship which they create for themselves by not wanting to surrender themselves to what Allah call them to in wisdom.
Lord Holy-Apostle, that question of why that you mentioned, the question why did this happen? What does that mean?
Right.
Why is that said? When people sit in their congregations as they grow up, learning in the religions, whether they're Muslim, Christian, Jew, or whatever religion that they grow up in, those organized religions, why don't the people, maybe in their adulthood or later on, finally come out and ask those questions? Well, I have to imagine a number of people have those silent questions.
Would you like to address that?
Well, in a lot of cases, you have people that, what happens when adults are raising children, they put so much emphasis on the child taking their word hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
You have some parents that say, don't do what I do, do what I say.
Right. Yeah.
And you have parents that put fear in their children where you should never put fear in your child. You can institute discipline without the fear. You should never make your children fear you, because if they fear you, then they may fear others of authority, who's nobody's deserving to be feared other than the Lord Most High.
Right.
So in those cases, you have children that walk the same path as their parents, and they never waver off. They never open up a door for themselves. They just
Right.
become a carbon copy of that which they have come from, which is bad. Too much control, you know. I think Jesus says, "Seek not from the cradle unto the grave."
That's right.
And Prophet Muhammad said,
Seek
"Not
not
from here unto China."
Right.
Here, Allah sent down to these men to tell us this, but people don't do it. You know, they
Right.
get the Bible and that's it. They hold on to it. I mean, we limit ourselves to so much. Just like some people don't know what's going on in the next town.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
oh, if it ain't going on in my house, I don't care. But the fire is next door and your house going to catch a fire. So
Right.
if we, you know, that's what happens to people. We become more just like the computers we work on. When a button is pushed, then we move. And it's like an enslavement
Right.
that we go through.
It sounds
And
like
it's
like
not
cattle.
until
Yes.
the Lord sent us down a hardship, a trial, that some of us say, wait a minute, I got to look at this more deeper. And then they start traveling the path on their own. You know, some people, because the Lord said He'll give you trials and tribulations,
Oh yeah.
and He'll give you ease. People just sit back and wait for the ease instead of seeking why the Lord caused this to happen to me. You know, people looking at 9/11, they saying, let us not forget 9/11. But yet and still we let mankind and not, you know, let's stay with truth. We let the Caucasian people say, and we say something about slavery, oh, forget that happened 500 years
They
ago.
always tell
But-
us to forgive and
Forget.
forget.
Right.
Right.
Now, slavery happened 500 years ago. The Holocaust happened for 5 years. They don't want us to forget about the Holocaust. That was 5 years. 9/11 happened one day, but slavery still exists today.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
still affected
Yes.
by slavery.
Yes.
So we're already put into that little box. So when people turn a dead ear to what we're trying to call them to, they're staying in that box. My whole thing is investigation ain't going to kill you. It may save your life. It may start a new life for you.
Right.
You know, so by people staying, listening to the emails and they priest and minister and the politicians and everything. I mean, just like politicians, you know, this one say they're going to do one thing, this one say they're going to do another. And really, you're trying to pick the politician that you think is going to benefit you. Then once they get in office, you find out that it don't benefit you.
Right.
But see, you're stuck in the choice that you made.
Yeah,
Right.
merry-go-round.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, if you get on this path to seek your Lord, you won't stay in that box. And nobody will have you in slavery again. You become a free thinker because you will rely on your Lord to
Right.
provide everything for you. And nobody wants to give up their independence. But we're totally dependent on our Lord, but we recognize it not. So that's where the problem come in.
You know, I'd like to just add that Siddhartha Gautama said that seek knowledge wherever you may find it. And Siddhartha, he was a messenger prophet of the Lord Most High
That's right.
as well, you know.
Mhm.
And the ministers or the priests or whoever lead these churches, they have actually taken the place of the parents. So
Okay.
so the people
Right.
come in looking to them as parents, and they're afraid, you know, to go against them. It's the same thing as the government has become the parents over the citizens.
Right.
Like they say in this country, you know, this government is established for the people, by the people, and so forth and so on. But if you catch a politician wrong, you can't take him out of office.
Right.
Have to have some of his peers who is his buddies to take him out of office. They got to go through all these different situations.
Yeah.
You know, if you catch me stealing, you gonna lock me up right away. But if you catch them stealing, you got to impeach them. You know, or you understand what I'm saying? You got to take it through a process.
Right.
You know, and so it's so hypocritical. And then the other thing is that people don't realize that all wisdom, all divine guidance,
Yes.
all divine information comes from the Lord Most High. And governments break off the wisdom from the holy covenants of the Lord to establish their words of government.
Oh, yeah.
So they got partial words of government, like the Masons say with 33 degrees. 33 degrees of what? Why would I want 33 instead of a 360 degrees when it's 360 degrees is available? You know? So what 33 are we talking about? You know, so, you know, because people favors, you know, being in power, you know, and because they don't understand what the true strength is, we compromise, we sit under our ministers, we let them dictate for us,
Right.
and we go and we pray to what we think is the Lord, and not and we don't take the life hereafter seriously, you know. And if they did take it seriously and understood it, they wouldn't go to these funerals saying everybody they love going to heaven.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's
they go
true.
to the funerals and everybody going to heaven. So who's wrong? Who's bad? Oh, I know he's up there looking down at me. Well, what did he do? He got shot 15 times because he was a drug dealer and he was a mass murderer, but I know he's up there looking at me.
Absolutely.
You know.
That's part of that falsehood. The Lord is all forgiving.
Yes.
That's one of they don't take one of the things that you expressed to us from Ahezaah is that Ahezaah had at least two sides to everything.
Yes, there's two sides.
But people,
to
Ahezaah is the
everything.
most gracious, the ever merciful. They quote half the Lord's attributes or names. It won't look at the other side. It is the most vengeful, the most wrathful. And you're a sign of that now as a part of being the part of the Christ.
Yes.
People looking for Jesus to come back in Revelation, they misquote
Well, they lied and said that
That's what I'm about to
Jesus
say.
was Christ.
That's what,
You know, I mean, you know, the devil, let's face it. Jesus left Jerusalem. The Romans allowed anybody that stayed with Paul to live and said, and he went and killed the rebels. The people that they call the rebels, those who believed in Jesus and John, they killed them all, and they had. That's why they hid the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Right.
You understand? So why is it that the Romans and the Jews allowed the people of Paul to live and practice their religion? Evidently, something wasn't right about it. And then Paul miraculously, supposedly, went to Rome and came back on the path of the way. I guess he got hit in the head with a rock and said that he became enlightened. Fell off his you know, did something, said he became enlightened. He didn't need Jesus. You understand? And the people went for that. But see, the whole thing is people are afraid of government. They're afraid of thugs. They're afraid of people in power, and they're afraid of death. They're afraid of the wrong things.
Right.
You see, because when they get to the throne of the Lord Most High, after they get to the throne of the Lord Most High, actually, if they're wrong, they're gonna recognize a terror much greater than they can ever imagine. And the sad part about this whole thing is that the religion today has lost the life of truth in it. That's why you can go to church, man. You might as well, take your get down outfit with you, and a lot of them, so you can start getting down.
Right.
You understand? Because it's just a party. You know, they practice emotionalism and act like it's spirituality, man. You know, and then people come out and say, "Oh, we had a good sermon," you know, and they all emotionally up, raised up. But they still don't have the truth. They miss the mark, you know.
Right.
And the whole thing about it is you know yourself. You go and you listen to some of these ministers preach, and you get 15 minutes of amen, 2 minutes of a word. You understand? And then 15 more minutes of can I get a witness? You know, and it's sad, you know, that the people actually bow down to that. You know, and then you get these denominations who preach that they're better than all the other people.
Yeah, that's
when none of us is better. The better is the Lord Most High. All of us are equal. All of us are equally dependent upon the Lord Most High. What makes us better?
right.
You know, is the faith and the spirit, the real faith and the real spirit that the Lord put over us and in us.
Right.
You know, because, you know, we got people thinking that they can acquire faith on their own merit. You can't acquire faith on your own merit.
Yeah, but people
That's why you got people, you know, 40, 50, 60 years old saying, well, I'm still trying, you know, I'm trying to get there, because they doing it the wrong way. Faith is one of the attributes of the Lord Most High. It's something that the Lord gives you as a gift. It's like spirit. It's a protection. It's an essence of its being. It's part of a state of mind. You understand this, the mind of the supreme mind. You understand? And when it draws you into that faith, no one can take you from it.
Yes, sir.
You know, I stand against, you know, billions of people today with my word.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Those eloquent speakers, so the preachers and the ministers and the imams, so they're very talented in speaking.
Yes, they're very gifted, man. They're very gifted with they arts deception.
And in their little spots when they do interject words in between the amens and the other Allahu Akbars and the like, they do interject, but they use
Allah's words.
Yeah.
And see, if I give you a bowl of soup, right? And I just put water in it and some grass in it and what have you. But then I put some pure essence of the Lord Most High. That's a powerful soup.
Right.
Even though it got all this other mess in it, it's still a powerful soup. See, if you take the devil's word and you put up just a little bit of the Lord's word in it, that word is powerful. You understand? The ministers of Christianity, they can hold their subjects just like the Muslims can hold their subjects away from each other because they cut and paste, they misinterpret, and then they throw the Lord's words straight up in there, and people feel the power of those words, but they miss that which they question. See, if you question, because then you hear the power of that word, then you forget about what you're questioning. You understand? He said this or he said that, you know? And one of the problems that they have with me is that they can say 5,000 words, but if they make one mistake, that crack right in there, I'm jumping right in that crack.
Yeah.
And open them up. You understand? That's why none of them leaders would ever come to see me, as I invited them to come see me and talk to me so I can try to give them information that can really help our people.
Truth is the thing that many people are afraid of.
Definitely.
And one of the things that the Lord have sent it down to us is that the truth is itself.
Yes.
And the reality is that when people come to you, that I've myself come to you included, first meeting you out of the fear of the unknown because you don't know what you're coming into.
Right.
And one of the things that you have shown us and taught us that for my ease is that less preaching, more teaching.
Yes.
Because now you ain't got time to get caught in the emotion. Now you really have to analyze, think, use some sense in your trying to make what you're hearing of the truth. But most people are fearful of what the word that the Lord brings through you because they don't want to maybe be opened up.
Yeah.
Anything you come in here is that you don't have familiar with, it's going to be fearful to many people. And at the same time, there are people that have met you. They don't sit down, but they've come to hear the word of truth that you bring from Ahezaah. And they say, I can't sit with that man no more. Cause the little bit that you've given from Ahezaah, break him up. Like, oh, shit, he know me.
You know, man hate pain.
Yes.
Truth could be painful. You know, and man, you know, everything has a price.
Yes.
Everything has a price. So, in order to get to know Ahezaah, you have to pay a price. You have to be willing to accept truth and then let it apply it to yourself.
Yes.
So that you can see the light of truth.
Right.
But man hate pain. So they come and we give them something to go with and they never come back. And that's enough to keep me. Then you have people that go for a long period of time. The next thing you know, you open the door, here they come again. You know, because, you know, it don't wear out. You know, so they...
You know what? They miss the example. See, we talk about the messenger prophets being of examples. Instead of the preachers and ministers teaching the truth, instead of imams teaching the truth about all the prophets, like, you know, everybody want to praise their so-called prophet. Like it's theirs. Like I know Jesus, I know Muhammad, you know, I know, you know, the Buddha, I know this, I know that. But the thing about it is that if they stop praising that one, and look at all of them, like the Quran is the book, the criterion, and the judge between that which is right and wrong. Right. And it points to all the books.
Yes, it does.
And people don't even realize that because in the translations and what the people teach from it, they don't guide the people to other books. And then see, when they say Muhammad, they give this long line of praise to his name.
Yes.
and then they just throw a little piece on the other messages. You know, the Christians make Jesus God and the Son of God, the only begotten Son of God, and everybody else just prophets. Like prophet, like a holy prophet is nothing, you know, and, or such less, you know.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?